Alright, Shalom. Before I begin this video, all praise, honor, and glory goes into Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Akakwadash. The honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, GMS, who rule well and teach well and taught us his truth, as well as the sincere salutations to the elder bishops, who rule well and teach well, as well as the sincere salutations to you, brothers, man, all throughout the four winds of the earth. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Akakwadash. Barakatham to you, brothers. And the title of this lesson is Babylon's Enemies in their arms race. Right? Because all these different countries, and specifically speaking about the UN, I believe they bring up NATO and the EU. Just going to get into this article from the Telegraph. It has a few graphs and things of that nature, just showing how the intercontinental ballistic missiles, production is ramping up. And they basically they making these different, assessments. This is all way more. This is way more than this, because they claim, okay, it's less than 10K warhead. Where all them damn warheads go? Like they gonna have all these warheads and then they just getting rid of warheads. No, they've been stocking that up. Since when they were first making these weapons, the Lord been putting the spirit on them to, create these weapons, ultimately to stockpile them up. And to use them, right? Nuclear warfare will be used, soon. Now, of course, we know that the Cheif has to come about on a worldwide scale. We need, some different prophecies to activate, so to speak. We know that all these talks about nuclear this and nuclear that, we know that all of these have truth to them. Alright, so it says, I'm just going to read down on here. Very well-written article. Lots of info. It says, world faces new nuclear arms race, which they've been developing these weapons, right? Conflict and instability could prompt as many as 20 countries to pursue a bomb. And not just any bomb, intercontinental ballistic missiles with nuclear warheads. Alright. It says international order is in a very, very fragile position, so everybody fighting to be on top, fighting for power, which ultimately the next kingdom that comes about is going to be the everlasting kingdom of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, in which the elect of the nation of Israel is going to be the governing body of that kingdom. 144,000 men, right? Israelites, all Israelites, 12,000 out of each tribe, along with the 1/3 of Israel that will be saved, from the coming doom that is, okay, America. This place is going to be doom and gloom, like the Elder Hawad likes to say. Non-proliferation is a domino effect in which as many as 20 states pursue their law. He told the Telegraph that renewed debate about whether to acquire nuclear weapons because this Polish, South Korean, Japan confused the war in Director General of the UN International Atomic Energy Agency, the world's top nuclear weapons watchdog. Also, no, that's incorrect. Correct. The top watchdogs are the elder apostles of Great Millstone on down. See, they messed up right there. Let's get a precept for that. This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2 and verse 1. All right, for all you scoffers, y'all don't watch, y'all ain't watchmen. Right? I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. So we are reading the prophecies. We are running with it. We in this walk. We in the truth. All right, that's why we're constantly proclaiming the words of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. And we watching. Once again, they were incorrect about that. The top watching group, the top focus group think tank, are the men of Great Millstone on down. Ain't nobody watching for the prophecies. Ain't nobody watching, like GMS. And that's nobody. That's absolutely nobody. Nobody else is watching on the level, all right, that we are watching on from the Elder Apostle Tahar on down. Because we watching. See, these people, they're not watching. They have no desire to watch. They don't even want us watching. They don't want us paying attention to the times. They don't want us, learning, gathering any sort of information. See, because we use this information to further, proclaim the gospel, to further defend this word, defend this truth. And the Lord has set up, the men of the Lord to speak on the things that were written. The scriptures speak about things that are written beforehand or written for our learning, roughly paraphrasing. So we learn every precept we learn, just like these different events that happen and take place. We learn from these things. Every single thing that happens, we learn about it. Habakkuk 2 and 3, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, and will not tarry. So we know that the end of this place, right? Also the salvation of the elect of the nation of Israel. We know that we are at the end. We at the time where, hey, any day now they could come out with the seal. We hoping, all right, that they come out with the seal 2026. All right, if not 2027. If not 2028. All right, we constantly watching. Lord's will, we're of the elect. We ain't never gonna stop watching. We ain't never gonna stop fighting through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai. Okay, fuck you other nations. Spirit gonna be getting on you other nations. Alright. Fuck you other nations. Okay, we say that through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai. You know, y'all fighting for power, no, man, the glory gonna go to the Lord. You niggas gonna learn that. The glory is gonna go to the Lord. The glory ain't gonna go to you other nations, man. Because they can see this place is weak. Anybody with a pair of eyeballs can see this bitch is through, this bitch is done. And these other nations see it as, okay, this place is ripe for the taking, so that we can, okay, destroy this place and be next at the top. Not knowing that you ain't got next. Moab ain't got next. Elam, none of y'all. Right? What's next up is the kingdom, okay, being governed by Yasharallah. Alright, the elect of the nation of Israel. Habakkuk 2:4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Alright, so we don't need to be like Edomite, you know, being proud, thinking that, okay, yeah, we can, you know, we just gonna live forever, do it, you know, generation after generation. Shit, we know that these words are, you know, like scripture say, the words are faithful and true. We know these words are true. We know that the Lord is going to destroy this fucking place. And fuck this place. We're going to continue to say that. Yea, also he, because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. Yes, you done brought your ass all over the place, all over the world, and you've taught, you know, all these different places about warfare and deception and scheming and lying, stealing, raping, robbing, murdering, and now all of a sudden it's getting turned on you and you getting upset. All right, but that's Esau Edom, the so-called white man. He believes that he can do what he want to do and that there's no repercussions for his actions. You crazy as hell. Right? All you damn Edomites, you going into captivity. Right? You heathens, you going into captivity as well. It's just Esau Edom, he gonna have a specific captivity. His captivity is gonna be on a whole nother level. Right? Continuing down. Who enlargeth his desires hell, and is his death and cannot be satisfied. Yes, so he gonna keep going till he stop. The Lord gotta stop this nigga. But gathereth unto him all nations, right? And he got all these different boards, he got all these different alliances that he likes to come up with and say, okay, we're doing this for everybody's benefit. When in reality, this nigga ruling. See, Esau Edom from the top wicked banking elite, they rule the world through Babylon the Great, aka America. Specifically New York City, in which, you know, that's just the spirit, because you have those elite over there and you also have the Lord's elite on the right hand side, which is the elder apostles of Great Millstone on down. says, and heapeth unto him all people. And that's part of your one. That's part of your philosophy. Is everybody, let's come together and worship Esau. That's basically how y'all. That's basically how y'all do it. Let's worship Esau. Let's push that in the schools. Basically, in life, the Israelites, they're not taught who they are. Right? But you learn about Rome. You learn about Greece. You learn about all your different captivities. But the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, they don't learn about who they are. Right? The so-called Chinese man, he taught about China. Right? You go to school, you learn about, the different dynasties and things of that nature. You learn about all these different, dynasty. You learn about Japan. You learn about Ammon. You learn about everybody else when you educated here in Babylon the Great. You don't learn shit about the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And anything that you do learn is negative, false. They just giving you wicked information. No mention and no mentioning of the scriptures whatsoever. Tying the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans to the scriptures. There's no time. There's no, connection that's taught. And see, that's because Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, he's the damn devil. So he ain't gonna, give us his knowledge. That's why it took the Lord, speaking through the high priest Abba Bivens, right? The Lord speaking to those men that came after him. The ones that the elder apostles constantly bring up, the seven, right? Different men that we learned about, even though we haven't, met them, we've learned about, High Priest Ariah, King Masha, High Priest Yaikwal, all these different men, and then it was, perfected, if you will, through the elder apostles of Great Millstone. Which, if you think about it, going back, to back then, basically the house of David, man. Lord's will we be of the elect. These are the men, these are the teachers that have been set up to teach us, man. Lord's will we be of the elect. Habakkuk 2:6, shall not all these take up a parable against him? Yeah, so now they talking shit and they on you. They openly saying that, okay, we racing to see who can get their numbers up the most. They not even denying it no more. They just saying, okay, yep, this is what we got. All right, it's being made known. Like the scriptures speak about how the hidden things of Esau sought up. And the Spirit is revealing you. All right. I'll go ahead and end there. All praise, honor, and glory goes into Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Akakwadash. The honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and enough spec you brothers worldwide, teaching and preaching. Shalom.